It's a playoff rematch to kick off United Soccer League's Friday night action. Orlando City B on the road against the team that knocked it out of the postseason over 6 months ago, the defending league champions, New York Red Bulls 2, here on the campus of Montclair State University in northern New Jersey. Jonathan Yardley and Christian Dyer with you, getting ready to watch this one. And Christian, some familiar faces coming in from the Orlando City side.
Yeah, well, when you talk about the big name players and kind of the guys who you build a team around, for Orlando City, you're talking about Zach Carroll, a guy who certainly has an awful lot of experience here with New York Red Bull 2 last year. We saw him get his ring just a few moments ago from sporting director Dennis Hamlet. A big part of that defense last year, an all USL selection, rock solid in the center of the defense for Orlando City B.
Homecoming of sorts for Carroll. You saw he played here last year, although not in this facility. And for the Red Bulls, Christian, we're looking at one of the league co-leaders in goals, Vincent Bezecourt.
Yeah, Vincent Bezecourt is a player one-on-one. You like to see him out there kind of isolated, willing to flow down the wings. We'll switch things up in the 4-3-3, left side, right side with Junior Flemings. We'll interchange from time to time. Good on the ball, good vision, one of the most dynamic players in the USL, and frankly, a player I think who we're going to be seeing with the New York Red Bulls MLS squad.
Orlando City B, New York Red Bulls 2, both trying to get back to the 500 mark. Lineups and kickoff when we return.
And remove your hat for the presentation of...
Rips the shot and puts it home.
What precision, what power, really making a statement.
The header's in and the crowd goes wild.
New York Red Bulls 2, they're the 2016 USL Cup final champions.
Ready to go, big time atmosphere here at Red Bull Arena.
Wide shot saved by Robles. Bradley right for it, has scored!
The ultimate scoring machine. And New York is on fire.
Hashtag New York is red, and who would argue with them?
Rips the shot and puts it home.
What precision, what power, really making a statement.
The header's in and the crowd goes wild.
New York Red Bulls 2, they're the 2016 USL Cup final champions.
New York Red Bulls 2, the defending USL Cup champions against a fellow playoff team from a year ago, Orlando City B, on a Friday night from Montclair State University. And Christian, we turn to the Orlando City starting lineup. We've seen him use a couple of different looks this year. Tonight, it's a 4-4-2. We've got some new names, a couple of Montverde Academy products, the pro debut of Eumeni Jules at right back. Who else are you looking for?
Yeah, I'm really big fan of Pierre De Silva. Like him again, a lot like a Vincent Bezecourt, a player 1v1, like to isolate him out there in the wing, play make on loan from the first team. Solid, brings a lot of speed, a lot of creativity. Really top-notch player in the USL.
We mentioned homecoming. Scott Thompson also making one, a former Red Bull Academy product. Red Bull Academy products all over this lineup, the 4-2-3-1. Hassan Ndam, one of the ones we're watching, starting at center back again.
Real solid center back, a guy with a very high trajectory. Wouldn't surprise me to see him not only in the MLS squad sooner rather than later for the New York Red Bulls, not just the game day roster, John, but we're talking about a guy who I think has starting 11 possibilities this year when you talk Open Cup, Champions League, and also a full slate of MLS matches, and someone, frankly, who I think has the ceiling of being with the Cameroonian national team.
Wow. Hassan Ndam, a little bit in doubt due to a minor injury picked up over the weekend. He is good to go. There's Anthony Poulos, the head coach of Orlando City B, former player with Orlando City when they were in USL, and of course, his dad, plenty of managerial experience over in England.
Just a little bit.
He's been with a few teams. And for the New York Red Bulls, it's, again, one of their own, a guy who played for the team multiple stints. And the Red Bulls led by John Wolonek, assisted by Ibrahim Sakaya, another former Red Bull, and Vadim Kirilov.
Red Bull New York and also Red Bull Salzburg as well. Long time with the Champions League outfit there in Austria.
Laurent Varga, the referee. Ryan Dos Reis, Kevin Locke, the assistants. Dave Breckner, the fourth official on this cool Friday night on the campus of Montclair State. These teams met 3 times a year ago, twice in the regular season, once in the postseason. They tied down in Florida back in June. The Red Bulls wins, and resounding wins, 5-1 and 4-0 in the other 2 meetings. We get set to kick off, and Brandon Allen has us underway on the Friday night. Both teams come in 1-2-1. Trying to get back into the win column. The Red Bulls in white and red, attacking left to right here in this first half. And Orlando City B in purple trimmed with gold, attacking right to left. Right away, the Red Bulls getting it for Junior Flemings, who couldn't hold it, but they do possess at the back. Again, 1-2-1 start for New York. The win was here in their only game so far in this facility, 1-0 over the Richmond Kickers. Losses at Red Bull Arena against Harrisburg and at St. Louis FC, and the opening tie against Pittsburgh. The start to the year for the Red Bulls. For Orlando City, opened with an away loss at Tampa Bay, and then 3 straight home games at the new facility there in downtown Orlando. What a great looking spot it is. Lost to Louisville, beat Toronto FC 2, and tied Charlotte earlier this week. So not exactly all cylinders firing right out of the gate for either side, to be expected with the mix of players we've seen for each.
And for Red Bull too, if you remember last year, they had a sluggish start there in some of the matches. They won a couple that perhaps they were a little sloppy in, had some bad giveaways, and then also there were a number of matches where they just kind of sunk down to the level of their competition. It wasn't until around June, July where they started to really click into all cylinders and look and become the team that would be regular season USL champions and then lift the cup.
Bezecourt's pass intercepted, and Yumeni Jules, again making his pro debut, went into the tackle, turned it back over to the Red Bulls.
And here's where Flemings can be so dangerous in 1v1 situations. Possesses a tremendous amount of speed, played with the under-17, under-20 national team for Jamaica, and made the bench recently for Jamaican World Cup qualification in November.
Scott Thompson to throw this in, former New York Red Bulls Academy player, former New York Red Bulls 2 player. Now 23 from Brick, New Jersey, and Christian Brothers High School, played his college soccer at Virginia. They loved him here in the academy, and except for tonight, I think they're probably rooting for his success down the road.
A lot of Montverde connections here, one of the powerhouses. Orlando City B having 2 members of the Montverde program within their starting 11 right now. And then Hassan Nadam, the center back for Red Bulls 2. Very, very high ceiling when you talk about a player straight out of high school. Actually trained with the Red Bulls, the full MLS squad in preseason last year. Stood out, waited for him then to take this next step in January. Rejoined the team for a second preseason and then signed a contract shortly after. Powerful center back, reads the game well, athletic, very high work rate, but also a high character kid as well too, and frequently is training with the full MLS roster. So he's someone who I think will probably be bled into the squad sooner rather than later.
3rd start of the season in 5 games for Evan Lauro, another Red Bulls Academy prospect after 3 years at the University of Michigan. Signed a homegrown deal with the first team in January. His contract switched to the USL level. And with Rafael Diaz dealing with a hand issue, Lauro's gotten early opportunities to play. Red Bulls turn it over. This is Dikwa, one of those Montverde products. His cross blocked by David Najim.
Dikwa, a very talented player. Again, once you get him out wide in those 1v1 situations, John does very well. 6 times he made appearances with the Cameroonian under-20 national team. Another player that we're kind of seeing coming through from West Africa with the high ceiling, good creativity, hungry, and perhaps a really good outlet for some of these players from Cameroon, countries like Ghana, who come through the system, get the opportunity to play over here rather than maybe go to Europe. It's a little bit of a faster way to start the field and see the starting 11 for a first division team.
5th minute at MSU Soccer Park on the campus of Montclair State University. First corner kick of the game, and Pierre Da Silva, a native of Westchester County in New York, to deliver for OCB. Gets the ball back off the short corner, going back post, and Loro rises highest to catch it ahead of Albert Dikwa. Upfield, hard collision between Jules and Zico Lewis. No call on the play, and it's Earl Edwards, another first-team loanee at the back for Orlando. He's the one of 2 first-team players in the starting lineup for Orlando. They often have a lot more, and just about everybody, including Richie Larea, Haji Berry, some of the attacking standouts for OCB, are with the first team at the moment, didn't even make the trip. Connor Donovan, Pierre Da Silva, and Earl Edwards, the only first-team players from Orlando City in this one.
And we saw with the coaching change last year for Orlando that Jason Christ began to look at more and more Orlando City B players, really kind of opened up competition where there wasn't a whole lot of competition before. And you're seeing the importance of the USL roster, Orlando City B, the depth that they have there, a lot of young attacking players in particular, and that Jason Christ is willing then to bring these guys up, get looks, and rely on them to be able to travel and be able to contribute at the MLS level.
Great footwork by Michael Murillo, the Panamanian right back, also a first-team loanee, gets the cross in, and it's cleared away by Fernando Timbo, making his OCB debut today, the Brazilian center back.
Murillo's a player who had a little bit of a rough outing a couple weeks ago at Red Bull Arena. His first debut in Red Bull's colors, on loan from San Francisco in Panama, being loaned down for this match. A player who probably, I'm guessing, by summertime, Red Bulls head coach Jesse Marsh would like to see in the starting 11 for the MLS squad. He's already made 9 appearances for the full Panamanian national team. Kid is in his early 20s, likes to push forward, has a high work rate. Had the opportunity to see him in training a couple times over the past few weeks. And when he has confidence and he's moving forward, does so very well, has good pace and good size, but there's going to be a bit of a learning curve.
That header fell between Allen, Edwards, and one of the other center backs. And it is Timbo down for Orlando City B.
Earl Edwards putting the ball out of play just to get a little break right there for a few moments. Didn't look like there was too much in the collision there, Jonathan, but certainly just one of those kind of knock 'em sock 'em sort of plays.
Thompson tried to head it back to Edwards in front of fans who used to be shouting his name, and wound up in a collision, but Timbo back on his feet and wants to stay in. So the Red Bulls will return it to OCB.
And we have a celebrity sighting here tonight at MSU Soccer Park. Sashi Hott, former Red Bulls player, under 17 national team member as well, in attendance. Current head coach of
FC Motown. I was going to see if you knew it.
They will be in the US Open Cup as well. And Joey Barajo, brother of former Red Bull Jonathan Barajo, on that roster. Very talented squad. Might make a little bit of an Open Cup run, mark my words.
We told you there were some familiar names here.
And I'm getting a correction, under 20 national team.
It's when you know Christian is sitting too close to the fans when he gets corrected by them.
But what a great environment this is. And we had games at Red Bull Arena last year for the USL squad. And now here you've got a beautiful facility at Montclair State University used by the nationally ranked men's and women's teams here. And this is really something that I think is going to bring the best out of the players, the intensity, and great for the fans, great for a community here in Montclair with a lot of youth soccer. Clifton right next door, again, an area where we have seen a number of top players. Matt Miazga coming from Clifton and coming up through those programs. Dilly Duca and others have all kind of come from this area. So it's exciting to see and really be able to get young players to see a professional environment and for the players out there on the field to kind of just know and feel what it's like to have a more intimate sort of setting for their games.
Full disclosure, where did Christian go to school?
Montclair State University.
Knows it well, as these Red Bulls 2 and USL teams are going to come to know it. 3,000 capacity right now, and they expect to add to that over the next couple of years.
It will be bumped up to 5,000 with locker room facilities as well. And this was the former practice home with the Red Bulls for a number of years.
Nice touch by Bezecourt, and he wins the free kick for the Red Bulls in the middle of the field.
And there you can see what Bezecourt can bring 1v1, his ability on the ball to shield, to be able to create a little distance and space, drawing the foul.
Red Bulls move it to Murillo here on the right. Back to Hassan and Nadam. Big switch, forcing Najim backward, another Clifton guy. Evan Loro trying to keep possession for New York. Gets it again. They had some trouble at the back against St. Louis FC in coughing up a 2-1 lead. And we asked John Walenek if he was worried about some of the early defensive issues. And true to form, he wasn't. He was comparing his team not to the playoff champions from last October, but from where they were this time a year ago, and felt they were really close. As Nadam and Dikwa, former teammates at Monteverde Academy, battle there, and it's a goal kick.
Yeah, and you talk with John Walenek and you say, what's it like to have a team that's maybe struggling out the gate as opposed to last year's team that just went flying through the playoffs, closed out the regular season in such strong fashion. And he says, I actually want the guys to struggle just a little bit. I want them to be able to go through some of those growing pains. That's how they improve. That's how they get better. They're in the pressure cooker situation. We're about development here at Red Bulls too.
And it's true for both teams. You ask them what priority number one is, it's to develop players for the first team. This one turns over. Fleming's on the run for New York. Into the penalty area. And it's deflected, still loose, falls to Fleming's. Now Basulovic leaves it for Murillo's cross. Zico Lewis had his cross deflected.
What a nice ball by
cleared
Murillo.
away. Austin Martz got it into the middle. Riley Kraft closed down by Bezecourt. And here's David Abidor.
Through about the first 12 minutes, really seeing that this Red Bulls USL squad, much like the MLS team, very high press, buzzing around the ball, trying to throw numbers into the midfield, clog up the passing channels, and really kind of constrict this game, tilt the field.
Justin Bilyeu, left back with the first team, center back here with the USL team, and saw that one drift out of bounds. Bilyeu wearing the captain's armband tonight at the back. There's Eumeni Jules, still 18. A couple years at Monteverde Academy, making his pro debut tonight. Scott Thompson going forward, looking for the run of Dikwa. And it'll roll out on that near side, as you saw John Walenek there. Haven't called Michael Cox's name very much, Dikwa's strike partner, but that's a guy who had 11 goals last year. And the two of them, with their speed, are really going to pressure that New York back line all night.
Yeah, John Walenek speaking with us yesterday before the match, kind of give a little bit of a preview of things, was talking about Cox, what he brings physically, his ability to hold on to the ball, but movement and space off the ball, the runs that he makes. Very, very dangerous player up top for Orlando City.
Najim used the outside of his right, got it to Zico Lewis, skins Jules. running against Zach Carroll, and Carroll plays it out for the first New York corner kick.
Zico Lewis brings so much speed to the game right here in 1v1 situations. Once he gets a little bit of space, he's able to turn the defender, force the corner kick. But this level is certainly not too high for Zico Lewis. First round pick of the MLS squad this year for the Red Bulls, but he is also a player who has played with the USL throughout his collegiate career and a member of Bermuda's national team as well. So certainly this moment is not too much for him.
Diving stop by Edwards at the back post. It was Abador who got up for it, and Bezecourt almost set up the game's opening goal. Here's Timbo. Brazilian center back lofts it long, looking for Cox. Bill, you won the first ball. Second one still up for grabs. Austin Martz on the right, third-year pro. Early ball in, too high for everybody in purple. Brought down by Murillo. And he finds Flemings to get out of trouble. Clear foul committed there by Jordan Schweitzer. '15th minute, and that Red Bulls chance from the corner kick a minute ago, the best of the game. Edwards getting down to make the save. Another chance for the Red Bulls coming, and Jules read that run by Lewis, or rather he read the pass. Now Cox trying to hold it up, can't do it. Abador got it to Bezecourt. Scott Thompson intercepts for Orlando. Here's De Silva. Long diagonal ball and a good one. Najim won it after Cox's touch let him down. 16th minute, no score between the New York Red Bulls 2 in white and red, Orlando City B in purple. Bezecourt, diagonal ball, bringing in Flemings in the penalty area. Junior Flemings cutting it back. Left foot and scores! Junior Flemings puts the Red Bulls in front. 16 minutes in.
What an absolutely brilliant ball from Bezecourt right there. Junior Flemings taking it 1v1, very nearly losing it, having the presence of mind to slot it past Earl Edwards, who's been on fire for Orlando City B at points this year, coming up with a number of big saves, flat-footing the goalkeeper and putting it in. Classy finish, but what a quality ball from Vincent Bezecourt right here. The vision of mind, placing it right behind the back line. Flemings knowing, pulling it back, does so well. Patience, doesn't get flustered, and then just slicing it right between the legs of Earl Edwards.
First goal of the year for Junior Flemings, first assist of the year for Bezecourt. And it puts the Red Bulls up 1-0. Here's another look at it.
What a great job, though, to spring Junior Flemings. I like the fact that Flemings doesn't get flustered right here. Has the presence of mind to dance around, create a little bit of space, be able to stretch out the play, knowing that the channel he got the ball in was going to be a sharp opportunity to go set himself up for a better one.
7 goals, 4 assists for Flemings a year ago. He had none of either through 4 games this year. And that's going to make John Wolyniec feel that much more confident about his attack. Not that he was short on confidence in them anyway. And Bezecourt, as you mentioned, with the pass that unlocked that Orlando City defense.
And Junior Flemings, 21 years old. We've seen his experience with the under-17s, the under-20s with Jamaica, and getting a little bit of a cup of coffee. Hasn't made an appearance yet with the full senior national team, but has that quality, certainly has that class. I think we're going to start to see him get involved with the Red Bulls now in Open Cup play. They're going to have a slate of Champions League games as well later on this summer, and summer friendlies and everything else. Wouldn't surprise me to see a larger role for this player with the MLS squad moving forward.
Abador brings this one to the far side, and David Najim. Zico Lewis got that to Brandon Allen. Now Bezecourt again. Jules in there to win it for Orlando City B. And he'll have the throw in as well. He just goes with Umeni on the back of the jersey. I was a little disappointed we didn't get to see one of the Brazilians who just wears PC on the back. But he's signed with the Orlando City first team. Murillo coming over the top of De Silva.
A couple weeks ago, Murillo getting about 15 minutes at the end of a CONCACAF World Cup qualifier for Panama. He's a player who's a big part of their future, and certainly when you see how he's being worked into the national team, you could see next World Cup qualifying cycle being the full choice starting 11 at right back.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor
On the outside back,
of the
so
USL.
important to the Red Bulls.
For information, visit
They need guys who can get forward, influence the game, and still maintain the defensive shape. And you never can have options in those spots.
No, and when you talk about a high-energy player, someone who's athletic, can push forward into the final third, we saw him already whip in one good cross on the right-hand side. Players who can bring that kind of skill set are very valuable for Jesse Marsch in his high-press scheme. He likes his outside backs to move forward, to pinch in, not only to have the defensive responsibilities, but to provide some of that width in overlapping runs.
Bezecourt again. This time it's Brandon Allen chasing on the right sideline. Low cross with the left, dealt with by Timbo. And we talk about player development, players moving up to the first team. On the Orlando City side, they've already had one this year. Leo Pereira, Brazilian defender who played both center back and left back, just announced this afternoon he's been loaned from the B team up to the first team for the rest of the year. And that's one reason Timbo is starting, but it's also, again, a sign that the organization is integrated and is communicating and is recognizing performances in these games.
And when you talk about center backs, what I liked about him was his vision, his confidence on the ball. Jason Christ wants to be able to play out of the back, and he had a player there who was good with the ball at his feet, had good vision, was willing not just to pump the ball down the field like we see so many young center backs, but was willing to do some things and help provide some build-up, and that fits in well with what Jason Christ is trying to do with that squad.
See the frustration there.
Fans, make sure you tune into the
After
USL
Scott Thompson
Weekly
couldn't
Show
get the
on
left-footed cross
SiriusXM
into the penalty
Channel
area.
85, Mondays 9 p.m. for the latest news and information from around the league. Also, don't forget SiriusXM
21st minute on a cool night, temperature
USL Game of the Week. Please check USL
dipping into the high
for dates
50s
and times.
on the campus of Montclair State University. Riley Kraft, good 1-2 with Austin March. They nutmeg Bilyeu. Here's Dikwa in the box firing, and Loro tips it over. Big stop early.
But what good movement off the ball from Dikwa right there to run right into that channel, makes a quick touch, fires it in. But Evan Loro does a tremendous job here, just standing his ground, not biting, and then just doing the reaction save to push it over.
Albert Dikwa already one goal in the year, just making his second start. Almost had a second, and it leads to the second Orlando City corner kick.
But gotta like the ball movement there, the movement off the ball from Dikwa, his understanding as well.
That was dangerous at the back post for Zach Carroll, and he couldn't get it on target, but he had a step on Hassan Nadam.
And we saw Zach Carroll repeatedly last year for Red Bull 2 for this USL champion squad, moving forward into the attack on set pieces, does so well in terms of getting himself in the position on the back post here in this opportunity, very nearly leveled the game.
Riley Kraft plays that one forward for Orlando City. Dikwa chasing it, and Murillo will throw for New York. Again, this is Nadam at the back, 6'4", 195, and he doesn't turn 19 until October. That's why, one of the reasons why Christian and the Red Bulls looking forward to seeing him progress. Orlando City bench not happy with that free kick called, but Basulovic will leave it for Nadam. Out of your picture. There he is. Junior Fleming's goal has the New York Red Bulls 2 in front. And Michael Murillo called for the foul, and Junior Fleming's reminding the referee the ball was back in play already. Good control by Cox. Pierre De Silva out wide with some space. Another teenager working against Murillo, gets a step on him. De Silva, Lauro didn't handle it cleanly, but he blocks the second one, and the third is off the outside of the post. Red Bulls caught a break.
And we haven't called De Silva's name very much, but right here we see how dangerous he can be when he gets the opportunity, gets the ball there on that left side of the field, 1v1, makes a nice little cutback, gets right past Murillo, serves in a good ball. Lauro gets a hand on the cross first, and then very, very nearly, for the second time in a couple moments, we're talking about Orlando City almost equalizing.
They had Carroll's header just a couple minutes ago. Dequa's shot saved by Lauro, and now that one off the outside of the post. We'll see if Orlando City can turn some of that momentum into more chances. Carroll goes back to Earl Edwards, 25, one of the older players in the game, now in his third MLS season. Hasn't played an MLS game yet, although he's had a couple of memorable moments for the Lions, particularly in that shootout against Charleston a couple years ago in the Open Cup. Again, Cox able to leave it, but Jules' pass was picked off.
And Earl Edwards is a person who certainly has U.S. Open Cup experience, has played in a number of high-profile friendlies for Orlando City, someone who's progressed up from the under-14 national team down into the youth ranks up to the under-20s. So certainly a player who is not short of experience, has done an awful lot at this level, and he's now shown himself so far through the first 4 games of the year for Orlando City that he's produced a number of highlight plays and been very solid in goal for the squad.
Fleming's again in conversation with Laurent Varga, the referee. It's a heck of a resume for Edwards, given that he didn't start playing goalkeeper until he was 12. His team's goalkeeper quit in the middle of the game, and they said, Earl, why don't you go in goal? And it's worked out okay for him. Vasulovic undercut and wins the free kick for the Red Bulls. Riley Kraft checking on him. De Silva and Vasulovic might know each other. Westchester County soccer over the years and U.S. youth national teams. That'll be a New York throw on this right side. Murillo looks to restart quickly. Vasulovic closed down. Good footwork in tight space. Gets through. Bezecourt finds Zico Lewis. Trying to play a combination in the box, and Timbo again read it well. Now Austin Martz playing it long. Justin Bilyeu there for New York. Lauro no nonsense this time, and Timbo will collect. With Ottawa last year, played with Austin before that, third year in the U.S. From Curitiba in Brazil. I always expect a little Brazilian flavor from Orlando City. From Kaká on the first team, right down to Leo Pereira, moving up, and now Timbo.
And someone by the name of Marta was signed recently.
Yes. NWSL kicking off this weekend.
She's not bad.
She certainly was something else in her prime. I'll be very curious to see how she does in today's NWSL.
Well, that vision, that skill set, that ability to spring that final pass that she has never, ever grows old. So that's going to be a treat for fans down there to be able to watch her.
Allen kept that one in play for Bezecourt. Zico Lewis got in, finds Junior Flemings on the right. Early ball, and it's dealt with by Carroll. Abador moves it, David Najim. This is the right back, Jules. Riley Kraft signed pro after playing amateur soccer with Sacramento Republic. Started this play, and Justin Bilyeu with the block to make sure nobody finished it.
we've seen now for about 5 minutes since the goal that Orlando City's just sort of been building up a little bit more. Took them a few minutes. They looked rattled there for about 6 or 7 minutes after the Junior Fleming's goal, but they've settled in for about 5-6 minutes now. They're moving the ball better, switching fields, and showing that they've had more than a couple of chances to equalize in this game. You can see just the overall movement on and off the ball, the runs into spaces, beginning to click a little bit more for the visitors.
It's only the second time in their 5 games that Orlando City has played with 2 forwards, and they're playing with a back line that hasn't played together. So there's just going to be a lot of in-game adjustments for OCB. Jules found Dikwa, who was onside, and Dom had to be quick to get that away.
And Dikwa's looked very dangerous with a couple of opportunities.
Great touch by Lewis, and now Bezecourt comes up injured after stretching for the ball. Timbo was there as well, and it was a yell from Bezecourt. At first glance, I thought it was from the stretch for the ball rather than from the collision. And that is a big worry for the Red Bulls. One of their stars, one of the players John Wallneck says is pushing to get first team minutes. Already has an assist today. Slow to get to his feet.
And away from the action, Michael Murillo is down there stretching a little bit. Always looks like it's one of those little hamstring things. Action started, he's not on his feet now.
And now Laurent Varga spots him, and Murillo with his boot off. He's taking off the shin guard as if he thinks he's done for the day. And the Red Bulls sending their substitutes to warm up as the training staff will look at Michael Murillo. 30 minutes in from MSU Soccer Park at Montclair State University in northern New Jersey. And New York Red Bulls 2 leading on a Junior Fleming's goal in the 16th minute from Vincent Bezecourt's through ball. Had a little work to do once he got on the end of it. And you can see behind John Wallneck, the Red Bulls subs warming up. Kevin O'Toole, the academy left back, would probably be the most likely option.
He would make the most sense.
He and Najim have started at outside back before in the same game, even though both typically play on the left.
But it might be an opportunity also to throw Justin Bilyeu, who's also an outside back with the MLS squad when he's with the first team, may be able to perhaps go out there in an outside back position now. And then you bring on board Tim Schmoll, who would be a dominating center back, and maybe a real interesting foil there in the back line with Hassam Nadam.
Each team with 6 subs available for this one. And on the Red Bulls bench, 4 of them are academy amateurs, while everybody on the OCB bench is a pro under contract. So Murillo, his second game at the USL level. His first clearly showed some rust, John Wallneck was willing to admit. And now the second, Murillo walks off 30 minutes in frustration. So the Red Bulls are going to restart with 10 players. And nobody has clearly filled the right back spot at the moment. They're arguing over who should, and now Junior Fleming's trots to pick up Pierre Da Silva.
Figured it might have been David Abador, who during his collegiate time at Tulsa played a lot of defensive midfield where he's playing now, but has also played outside back and center back, so he may be an option just to slot in at this point.
He, Nadam, and Flemings were discussing it, and they clearly were not on the same page.
Well, with Junior Fleming's hair game today, I think whatever he says goes.
He's got the goal as well. Never hurts. And again, some of this goes back to player development. The Red Bulls would rather get 90 minutes from Murillo, or 85 if he takes a 5-minute breather in the big picture of the organization, than anything else. So if they can give him a minute or two to gather himself, maybe he comes back in. Or maybe they make a move, because I see some shin guards going on. Jordan Schweitzer will go backward for Orlando, playing with the man advantage right now due to a Red Bulls 2 injury.
And it looks like it might be Tim Schmoll
This is Cox, got it to De Silva on his left, playing it across. Dequa's header ties the score with the man advantage. Orlando City B takes advantage, and Albert Dequa has his second pro goal.
Well, a well-whipped-in ball right there coming from that left side, and Dequa with the snap header, finding just a little bit of space, making the most of the opportunity. We've seen Orlando City B have a fair share of opportunities over the past 10 minutes or so. They squandered a couple of them, but this one right here, ball being whipped in. Dequa splitting the center back and the left back, finding good space, burying it.
So Tim Schmoll you see coming on in the 34th minute. He'll go to center back.
Bill Yu's going to be moving, it looks like, to left back, where he's been very familiar with the MLS squad.
That moves David Najim to right back. So you had that one pegged.
Well, even a blind squirrel finds an occasion on that.
Orlando City B goal. Scorer number 90, Albert
Advantage
Dequa.
played correctly by the referee.
34th
Allen,
minute.
diagonal ball, looking for Fleming, brings it down in his chest, goes down in the box. No call coming, and it's just a goal kick. Close call for the Red Bulls if he had been able to keep his feet.
Two good calls, though, by the referee. The first one to allow the advantage to go, allowing Brandon Allen to pick up that ball kind of there in the midfield, and then spraying the ball. And then Junior Fleming, just a little bit of physical contact, but nothing in it. So two very good calls by the referee. And I've never said those words before.
First professional game that Laurent Vargas worked that I've been able to come across. Longtime collegiate official. And so maybe a big night for him as well.
Well, certainly off to a good start. He's let a couple of the plays go, 50-50 balls as well. Only made the calls and kind of let the players run with the game. Very few whistles so far as we're 35 minutes into the first half.
So again, Red Bulls 2 using a substitution due to injury, scored against while they had 10 players. And again, it came from that side of the field where the Red Bulls had been trying to figure out who was playing right back. Now, as you said, Orlando City had been rolling. They were creating better chances. The Red Bulls, you know, are going to feel like if they had had a full complement and been completely organized, might have handled it better. Orlando will say, completely deserved based on the way they'd played, and it'd be hard to argue.
Well, Orlando certainly has been winning a lot of those 50-50 balls and going in, winning the physical contests as well. And when you do that, you build some advantage, you maintain possession, and they've been able to get the ball out wide in dangerous positions. We saw De Silva there whipping in a ball a few minutes ago out wide, and then this pass goal to Dequa coming from a wide position, the ball being played again by De Silva.
Those Red Bulls center backs under pressure from Orlando City. This is Austin Martz centrally. Pulling out is Cox. Bill, you poked it away. And eventually, it'll roll to Evan Loro. The substitution, though, an interesting one because Schmoll, a bigger guy, and Nadam, a big guy, working against Cox and Dequa, who are really quick. And I'm curious to see how the Red Bulls back line handles those threats.
But since Red Bull went up 1-0 in the 16th minute, they were losing a lot of those aerial battles in the center of the final third. So maybe this is just a response to be able to get Tim Schmoll, someone who's very strong in the air, on the field.
Zico Lewis first to that one. Zach Carroll did well to keep position. They're still fighting for it. Even Orlando City players were walking defensively in the throw-in given their way. Joule will accept it on the far side. We'll have a couple of minutes of stoppage time at the end of the half due to the injury to Murillo, who is still sitting on the ground away from the Red Bulls bench after coming off holding his left foot. Here's Flemings with Najim overlapping. He's Scott Thompson gets it away for Orlando. De Silva got there first. And a hard challenge from Abidor right in front of the Orlando City bench. You can see what they think of it as De Silva's down. And a big decision here for the officials.
And Orlando's saying that Abidor went in studs up. I think they may have an argument there.
Ron Varga's going to check with the fourth official, David Breckner, who was right there. Everybody waiting to see what color. And it's a yellow card for Abidor here in the 39th minute.
I think it's probably one of those. I think it's one of those situations where the referee got it right. I'm not sure Abidor necessarily went through the body of the Orlando City player, but certainly showed studs up from what we saw, leaving his feet, both of his feet off the ground. May have gotten away with one there, that second look. Got ball, but...
He got the ball with one foot, but the fact that the other foot was involved, I think, is what had the Orlando City bench up in arms.
And as soon as you leave and go in with both feet, that's always going to be a cry for a card.
The good news is De Silva appears fine, goes into that slide tackle, and will win a throw for Orlando City B. Looks to take it quickly. Now leaves it for Thompson.
We've seen De Silva be the most dynamic player for Orlando City B so far in this first half. This is a guy, the first ever player that they've had go from their academy to Orlando City B to the first team. So he's a player with an awful lot of potential, awful lot of poise on the ball, the way he can kind of make those combination plays, good in 1v1 situations, brings a nice amount of pace to the game too.
And it comes from a really shrewd bit of recruiting, because De Silva is from New York. He was with the U.S. Under-17 national team, and they get him in their academy, and then with their USL team, never signed him as a homegrown player because he didn't have homegrown experience with Orlando. After having experience with other clubs, as Dikwa breaks in. This hesitation move by Marks. Cross looked like it hit the hand of Dikwa. At any rate, the Red Bulls take it the other way. And that's not the only instance of Orlando City recruiting to its academy. Joe Gallardo, who's on the bench tonight, is another U.S. youth player recruited to come via the non-traditional route. And Mikey Ambrose was signed out of college and then eventually promoted to the first team. And that's one of these opportunities for MLS clubs that have USL teams. You can sign some low-risk players, like some of these Montverde Academy products, and if they pan out, great, bring them to MLS. If not, you've only burned USL-level money on them.
In Montverde, one of the best programs in the nation. They had that record-long undefeated streak right there. It's a program that recruits globally, really has the opportunity to bring in players and become a feeder in many ways for MLS clubs. We saw Hassan Nadam with the Red Bulls 2 years ago being signed this past offseason. Now Orlando City B having several players in their USL squad beginning to be filtered in from that program and programs like that.
And Mateus Silva went straight from Montverde to the San Jose Earthquakes. They're all over the place. That program really on a roll. 1-1 here, late stages of the first half. Fleming's going early. Zico Lewis will track it down. Battling with Jules, who will knock it out for a corner kick. You can play any ball over there and expect Zico Lewis to be first to it.
And Zico Lewis very dangerous on this field a couple weeks ago, and in the home opener against Richmond, scoring the goal, looking dynamic with that speed, the pace that he has, but his understanding of where to run into space. Dangerous player.
Second corner kick for the Red Bulls. Bezecourt delivers. A lot of contact, and it's still New York's ball. Bezecourt again. Allen couldn't bring it down, and it's cleared away by Orlando.
A little too unselfish there from Bezecourt. I think if he had pulled the trigger, that was a crowded box. Something dangerous could have happened.
Well,
Pinged the ball in around there.
And if he was on his left, he would have pulled the trigger, right? Nice dummy there by Lewis. This is Bezecourt. Low one easily dealt with. Good work by Kraft to get it up to those front runners, and a good layoff as well. Austin Martz comes inside. Pass was too hot for Dequa, but it stayed with OCB. This is Thompson for the run of De Silva, end line. Played it low and right into the arms of Evan Loro. Really, since the Red Bulls' 2 goal in the 16th minute, it's been all Orlando the last 25, 30 minutes of this first half.
Orlando responding very well. Needed a few minutes to settle back in after that goal, but they're handling this Red Bulls 2 press, playing long balls over the top of the pressure, finding space for their forwards up top.
De Silva trying to bring that down. Schmoll got to that first. Here's Abidor. Dequa picked his pocket for Orlando. Speed of play clearly in favor of OCB right now as that one runs out of bounds. Jonathan Yardley and Christian Dyer with you from the MSU Soccer Park at Montclair State University. New home this year of the New York Red Bulls 2. And only 2 Eastern Conference MLS reserve clubs to make the USL postseason last year. And they were 1-8. Red Bulls winning that quarterfinal 4-0. Much different story so far tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The 4th official on the sideline is indicating there will be a minimum
We're into
of
3 minutes of stoppage time. Abidor's ball didn't find anybody in white. That clearance, though, right to Bilyeu. And it's going to run out off of Thompson. Orlando thought Brandon Allen was offside. No call, and so it'll be a Red Bulls corner kick.
Exciting first half. Equally exciting, dollar hot dogs at halftime. No mustard, though. I learned that lesson.
You can have it all you want. Not on mine. Third corner for Bezecourt. Dangerous. Allen's header wide of the target. All 3 Bezecourt deliveries have created opportunities for New York.
And we're seeing now, just like the last corner kick a couple moments ago that Zico Lewis won, that this one was going near post where Tim Schmoll was making a run. They're trying to target him at that near post.
3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half, much of it due to the Murillo injury. We're into the second now. Junior Flemings, the goal scorer, lost a shoe. David Najum racing into his spot. Drops it back for Flemings. He's got the right cleat, he uses it. Najum's cross ran through everybody in the penalty area. Allen brings it back for Bilyeu.
Junior Flemings only needs 1 shoe, not unlike Seth Stamler.
And you're going back into lore.
I know nothing but.
Najum again on the right. Tried to go outside of the right and won a throw over there. Asking for a little more movement from everybody else up front. About a minute to play here in the first half. Goals from Junior Flemings for New York. Albert Dequa for Orlando. Bilyeu, top of the box, great turn. Bezecourt with the right, puts the Red Bulls in front. That time, he had no trouble pulling the trigger, and he's got his league-leading 4th of the year.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Bezecourt on this play, but how about the vision there from Tim Schmoll, the talented center back out of Harvard, now in his 2nd year with this program, picking his head up, making this feed. That may have actually been Justin Bilyeu, actually, but what a quality ball right there. Bezecourt then freeing himself up with a little touch. Finish from about 16 yards out. Classy finish from Bezecourt. I take back everything nice I said about Tim Schmoll. I got the Tim sanity.
Bilyeu with the ball in, and Bezecourt still had some work to do. I said he didn't pull the trigger earlier on his right foot. No hesitation this time, and unerring accuracy.
He's a player, when you watch him with the MLS squad practicing day in, day out, does not look out of place at all. Creative player, good in the 1v1 situations.
He's the one who has the New York Red Bulls 2 in front at the half. Orlando City controlled large portions of the first stanza, but Bezecourt's goal in the 3rd minute of first half stoppage time puts New York in front 2-1 over Orlando City B here at halftime.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars, innovative technology, and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
Ready to go. Big time atmosphere here at Red Bull Arena. What a shot saved by Robles. Bradley Red-Phillips has scored! The ultimate scoring machine. And New York is on fire.
Hashtag New York is red. And who would argue with them?
Rips the shot and puts it home.
What precision, what power, really making a statement.
The header's in and the crowd goes wild.
New York Red Bulls 2. They're the 2016 USL Cup final champions.
Welcome back to MSU Soccer Park, Montclair, New Jersey. And at halftime in United Soccer League action, it's the New York Red Bulls 2-2 and Orlando City B 1. Goal just before the end of the half, putting the Red Bulls in front after Orlando City had created more chances. And the Red Bulls in front 2-1, trying to get some success this year. Before the game, it was appropriate to honor a little bit of their success last year, because playing against them tonight, Zach Carroll honored with his USL Cup championship ring before the game. Nice moment.
Yeah, and he was a big part of this squad, making the all-USL team last year. Rock solid there in the center of the Red Bulls 2 defense.
New Red Bulls sporting director Dennis Hamlet handing him the hardware. As we go back to highlights from the first half, that was Junior Flemings opening the scoring in the 16th minute.
Cheeky, savvy little play right there. Just get a little bit of separation, cool under pressure. But Orlando City B responding so well here. Dequa finding the space, firing the shots over. They just seemed like they were building momentum. They had one go off the post a few moments later, and then De Silva here swinging the ball into, yep, guess it again, Dequa right there, cool, classy finish. Much deserved for an Orlando City team that was finding a lot of momentum and a lot of possession in the first half.
And this is in first half stoppage time. Vincent Bezecourt with the right foot inside the post to put the Red Bulls 2 in front at the half. New York 2 and Orlando 1 through 45 minutes here in northern New Jersey. Yeah, pick out the upper 90 if you can. Christian's going to run down there as part of the halftime festivities. Much more to come from MSU Soccer Park. It's the Red Bulls 2 leading Orlando City B 2-1 through 45 minutes.
Second year of unprecedented success. The USL Experience provides Super Y League players with a comprehensive look into the North American professional landscape, where they can experience life as a pro at a level never before visited.
No, we're really pleased to host the USL Experience here in San Antonio. The players get to experience what it's like to be a professional player. They've interacted well with our current players over lunch, and we're looking forward to watching them play. I know they've trained this morning, and looking forward to the games this evening, and as a staff we're looking forward to watch them play.
The USLX event has given our players a great opportunity to participate and play against players from all across the nation, which serves as a great development opportunity for our kids. Obviously, Texas is a big state, but when you get the opportunity to play against kids from across the nation, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity right now at their age groups.
Rewind to the inaugural 2016 USL Experience hosted by FC Cincinnati. During halftime of the River Cities Cup versus Louisville City FC, USL Experience players walked out onto the field in front of a 20,000 capacity crowd at Nippert Stadium and were recognized as the future of the game. That's not happening anywhere else in the country. A year in the making, the USL Experience at San Antonio FC looked to build on the accomplishments of FC Cincinnati and achieved great success with a 2017 event unlike anything else currently available to youth players. During the Experience, a full media day, including professional photo shoots, press conferences, and interviews conducted by USL Experience and San Antonio FC staff in stadium suites overlooking the beautiful Toyota field. The experience intensified as players stepped onto the pitch for the first time, flying through competitive training sessions conducted by invited Super Y coaches who continued to evaluate players throughout the event. College coaches and U.S. Soccer Federation scouts attended USL Experience matches as the players challenged the San Antonio FC ETP and Rio Grande Valley Academy teams. In addition to their own match experience, players witnessed firsthand the professional matchday experience of San Antonio FC, which included access to a closed-door training session, lunch with the first team, and the opportunity to learn tactics from head coach Darren Powell in a strategy session before the season home opener. The 2017 USL Experience culminated in spectacular fashion as players celebrated San Antonio FC's first home triumph of the season with a 3-0 victory over LA Galaxy 2. By providing an event such as this, the USL has become a leader through its commitment to youth development. The USL Experience is breaking barriers by making professional soccer and the professional dream more accessible. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
Ready to go, big time atmosphere here at Red Bull Arena. What a shot, saved by Robles. Bradley right for it, has scored! The ultimate scoring machine. And New York is on fire.
Hashtag New York is red, and who would argue with them?
Introducing the Bull Series, Born Tough. Over 100 years of harnessing power. Toughness comes in your size. Our new Bull Series was born to work as hard as you do. So whether you choose our standard Bull model with 3 seats or our Longhorn edition with 2 rows and 6 individual seats, you will have a UTV sized to fit your needs.
For dates and times. Soccer fans, Nike is an official.
Welcome back to Northern New Jersey as we're at halftime of USL action between the New York Red Bulls 2 and Orlando City B. A lot of scoring chances in the first half, and the Red Bulls got the better of it, scoring the first goal and scoring just before halftime to take the lead into the break, trying to go 2 for 2 in this new facility, having lost their only home game of the year when they were playing over at Red Bull Arena. Junior Fleming's got things started for the Red Bulls in the 16th minute. Vincent Bezecourt with the assist, playing the one through for him. Albert Dikwa tied the game in the 34th minute with Pierre De Silva assisting. And again, critical in that, the Red Bulls were playing with 10 due to the injury to Michael Murillo, who was replaced by Tim Schmall only after the goal was scored. Orlando City had been dominating that middle portion of the first half, And then 3 minutes of first half stoppage time, maybe in part due to that injury. And the Red Bulls made the most of it with Bezecourt scoring in the final of those 3 minutes to put them up 2-1 at the half. As we get ready for the start of the second half, Jonathan Yardley alongside Christian Dyer. And Christian, what do you expect as far as some of the halftime adjustments that each manager will be looking for?
Well, certainly, this is not the old USL where you would have 5 substitutes available. So that's going to limit John Wolyniec just a little bit, already having to make 1 substitute, bringing on board Tim Schmoll in place of Murillo. Just changes things up just a little bit in terms of maybe some of the younger players they would like to get run out there that they have on the bench. And it's not an incredibly deep bench for John Wolyniec either when you talk about the number of players who usually would be loaned down in a situation like this. Florian Velo out injured. Dan Metzger has been battling an injury during this week, maybe with the MLS squad tomorrow potentially when you look at the depth chart depending on his availability. So some of those things in terms of making a halftime adjustment, probably won't see any fresh legs coming on at this point. For Orlando City, I think you look at an awful lot of these numbers. They didn't have possession necessarily. Red Bull had 56%, Orlando City had 44%, but you look at total shots on target, so many of the other important statistics, duels won, passing accuracy, all where you'd want to see a team on the road be. And perhaps a little bit unfortunate there in stoppage time to give up that go-ahead goal for Red Bull too. So if I'm Anthony Poulos and I'm kind of looking at this situation right now, I think if they continue to play the way they did the final 20 minutes of the first half, that go-ahead goal notwithstanding, they have a good chance to stay in this game and perhaps be able to draw one back.
Right, your message is stay the course because, as you mentioned, maybe they're not putting together 5, 6, 7 passes at a time, but when they do have the ball, they're very quick to get the ball up to those forwards who are dangerous, and when they've had Martz and De Silva get into the attack, especially De Silva, to me, when they get De Silva on the ball, that was when they were the most dangerous. Even though he's not your typical number 10, he's playing wide left.
Yeah, De Silva out wide in 1v1 situations is as deadly as they come at the USL level. And you look at the bench, I think Moussa Sane is someone who brings a certain amount of speed and athleticism, will be able to come in off the bench, perhaps be able to stretch things as Red Bull and as the game just wears on a little bit.
New York Red Bulls 2 leading Orlando City B 2-1 at the half. We'll take a quick break, come back with second half action, and see what those adjustments are right after this. getting ready to start the second half between the New York Red Bulls 2 and Orlando City B. Jonathan Yardley, Christian Dyer with you as teams get ready to kick off. The Red Bulls have made their second substitution at halftime. Brandon Allen coming off only those 45 minutes. And coming on, Andrew Tinari, rookie out of Columbia, who has started twice this year and is now making his second appearance as a sub. Underway in the second 45 minutes at MSU Soccer Park on the campus of Montclair State University. Jonathan Yardley and Christian Dyer with you. New York leading Orlando 2-1 on Vincent Bezecourt's goal just before halftime. He had a goal and an assist in the first half. And the Red Bulls, of course, in white and red, attacking right to left in this second half. And Orlando City in the familiar purple trimmed with gold.
It's going to be interesting to see now with the addition of Tinari, a bit more of a midfielder than Brandon Allen, who's a flat out-and-out forward, someone who likes to play in a higher role. Tinari perhaps maybe seeing a shift a little bit more, at least defensively, to more of a 4-4-2 type of alignment is likely how they're going to defend. Tinari, in all Ivy League selections, started 15 of 16 matches a season ago as a senior at Columbia. As a talented player, brings a high work rate, certainly to the game, and perhaps a game like this that has been a bit hectic from an Orlando point of view, where they've really been pressing the issue for much of the second half, could fit in well for Red Bull.
Najim, I should say, just learned that today from his brother with the diagonal ball, and Bezecourt was offside. So Junior Flemings and Zico Lewis up front in what looks like a 4-4-2 at the moment.
What is it about Red Bulls players and sudden name changes now?
There's been a few that I've gotten some clarity on just in the last couple of weeks, as that one runs through the penalty area and is cleared away. It's Alex Muehl, not Alex Mule.
I was told by Alex yesterday that it's like a tasty wheel. Wheel.
It's 2 syllables?
There's a little glottal action, I think.
There's only one way to know how to say a player's name, and that's to hear a tape of him saying it. Justin Bilyeu started the game at center back, moved to left back due to the injury to Michael Murillo. One of 2 subs made by the Red Bulls, and Hassan Nadam got the ball to knock that one out. It came off of Orlando and will be given as a goal kick.
And the linesman right there just shaking his head, saying that the contact was incidental. But Nadam needing to make this challenge right here. Dikwa cutting inside, getting the space in between. Schmoll, Nadam needing to step in and make a sliding challenge.
Once again, the official, Laurent Varga, and his assistants, in this case Ryan Dos Reis, spot on.
We have to stop saying that.
Spot on, or that the refs are doing a good job?
That the refs are doing a good job. This has actually been a very well officiated match right now from this USL crew. And like you said, Vara making his first ever appearance that we know of at this level.
Bilyeu on this, or beg your pardon, Schmoll on the near side with Bilyeu. Vasilovic plays one vertically, and Flemings is offside. The flag up on the far side of the field. Free kick coming for Orlando.
Perhaps he should take off one of his shoes.
There's a nickname there. For Orlando City B, available on the bench, Jake Fenlison, the backup goalkeeper. Connor Donovan, a defender. Paul Klaus, a midfielder. Musa Sane, Ben Polk, and Joe Gallardo. All more attacking options available for Anthony Poulos, but he hasn't gone to any yet. As we mentioned, Red Bulls 2 using 2 of their 3 subs already, 1 due to injury and 1 at the half, potentially to conserve Brandon Allen's minutes.
And we've seen Brandon Allen on the MLS roster, game day roster, a number of times. So perhaps, like you're saying, this is just an opportunity to keep him fresh if he is called upon for tomorrow's big match, the rivalry match, the first ever, I would say, true rivalry in MLS history between DC and New York.
That one's kept in play. Kraft kicks out of trouble, and the Red Bulls will take the throw in out of the hands of their head coach, John Walenek. Only 3 losses all last year by Red Bulls 2. Already lost twice this year. Najim, good one toward the penalty spot and forced Carroll into a difficult clearance. He did save a throw-in rather than a corner.
And Najim really converted outside back right here at the USL level, played in college as more of a winger type player, can certainly serve in a nice cross.
He was offensive player of the year in the Ivy League. Now playing outside back, and that's so often how it goes at the next level, no matter where you played in college.
And we know Jesse Marsh, a former Princeton graduate,
loves him some Ivy League.
Loves him.
Here's Bezecourt playing wide left in this second half. Got a step on Carroll, sends it across. And Timbo again defending well. He's been good for me. First look Orlando City B has had at him in game action.
Never have enough Timbo, if you ask me.
Seems like he's with the wrong team. You'd think out in Portland they might have some use for him. Ooh, that's some footwork right there. Never get too much of that.
Speaking of the Ivy League connections at Red Bulls practice yesterday, Shet Messing, former Harvard graduate, yucking it up with Jesse Marsh after practice.
Well, as soon as you said Shet Messing, I knew yucking it up would be involved.
The man refuses to wear socks.
Good look at Justin Bilyeu, second year out of SIU Edwardsville. He's one of those guys who made the most of the MLS Combine. Some of the high-profile guys it's not great for, but for Bilyeu it was maybe a career maker. Certainly gave him a chance.
And when you're talking about a guy from a smaller college who didn't necessarily play a lot of high-level games, to be able to go out there and showcase and show that he belonged. Bilyeu was somebody who was a big part of the first team last year. Didn't get a lot of start, but was on the game day roster, was called upon, and did well with his USL opportunities as a springboard for that platform.
He still had a good resume, you know, St. Louis Scott Gallagher, FC Tucson, but as you said, smaller school, wasn't on everybody's radar, and that combine performance shot him up. The Red Bulls wound up grabbing him at number 18. And they said one of the reasons they went for him there is they knew other teams were lining him up in the next couple of picks.
Same thing for Zico Lewis as well, who really benefited from the combine experience, stood out, did so well, and showed his versatility, showed off his speed, but also showed his soccer IQ. And Zico Lewis is someone who, when he was drafted, said, I've got a chip on my shoulder. I want to come out there and prove that 16 teams passed me by, and we've seen tonight flashes from Zico Lewis that begin to make you think that this guy has some of the skill set to become, well, somewhat of a role player at the very least at the MLS level.
That had to be the speech of the draft.
Of any draft.
I mean, I'm partial to Richard Jada from a few years ago when he was picked with like the second to last pick and made his way up to the stage and spoke for a while, but Zico Lewis is right up there. My mom and dad brought me into this world, and they threatened to take me out of it many times.
Tune into the USL's
one of
weekly
his
show
several
on
lines
SiriusXM FC,
players from both teams
Mondays at 9 p.m. for the
check on Junior Flemings,
from around the league.
and Umeni Joel picks up a yellow card.
And that's been a little bit of battle there in the first half, now carrying over to the second half. Joel and Flemings, there's been some physical altercations, a little bit of give and go right there. And Flemings, if we keep in mind, has also been called a couple times there in the first half for some fouls. So it's been a real battle down there, down that right flank.
You could see why the yellow card was given out. It was a no doubt kick to the midsection after the ball was gone. There's Arun Basulovic, 3 years at Georgetown. He's in a deeper role here than he was in his academy days with the Red Bulls, and they're challenging him to do the defensive work, cover the ground. Been happy with that adjustment so far. And the next challenge, John Walenek said, was we want to see him be a little more vertical. Find the forwards, find the attacking players. Don't just play it side to side. And as you're playing at a higher speed, those types of passes forward become more difficult.
But he certainly comes in with good vision, good touch in the ball, and a work rate. So the pieces are there the intrinsics that you want to see, the soccer IQ, his willingness to do the things on and off the ball. But now it's going to become also about physicality as well. If he's going to be playing in that deeper lying position, there needs to be a willingness not just to play the ball quickly, not just play vertically, but he's going to have to mix it up from time to time if he wants to make the jump up.
Zico Lewis stayed on side, right-footed cross, blocked by Timbo. Schweitzer tried to keep it in but couldn't, and it'll be a corner for New York.
Now, who would win in a foot race between Zico Lewis and Dane Richards? Former New York Red Bull.
Right. I mean, right now.
Jamaican international.
Right now, I think Zico would have the edge.
Let's rephrase, in their prime.
2008 against Houston, Dane Richards. Ooh. 56-minute fourth corner kick coming for the Red Bulls. And again, Vincent Bezecourt. Another dangerous one. And they were targeting Nadam. It came off his head last. And it's a goal kick for Earl Edwards. Third round pick in Orlando City's 2015 draft.
Certainly nothing he could do on New York's 2 goals.
Dikwa chasing that, and Nadam caught him, stumbles, and loses out, and commits a bad foul in the corner, and that's a clear free kick, and I'm wondering if there's more coming.
And Nadam running there, a little bit out of control to the back pocket. Yellow card for Hassan Nadam. I think that was probably right. He did very well there on the original recovery, winning the ball, stumbling, and then being put in a position where, quite frankly, on this part of the field, he doesn't have to make that challenge. Right there along the touchline, deep in, player doesn't necessarily have the turn on him. That's the kind of decision that a young player needs to learn from if he's going to make that jump. If he's going to grow in his responsibility, you don't have to commit that foul. You can just contain there in that corner.
You see the Red Bulls trying to organize. Riley Kraft, number 80, the right footer. Scott Thompson, the left footer. They'll leave it for Kraft. There'll be a throw in for Thompson on that far side. Red Bulls trying to get out with Zico Lewis. He's the only option up there, but behind the play, collision with 2 players, and immediately the official Laurent Varga calling for the training staff.
And I think that might be David Abador, who's down there for New York. Michael Cox, a little bit of a hard hit.
59th minute with New York Red Bulls 2 leading Orlando City B 2-1. And a reminder, soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, go to nikesoccer.com. Abidor being checked out. And Cox, a couple yards away out of your picture, also being checked on.
Soccer fans,
well, second time here at MSU Soccer Park and a pretty healthy turnout.
For more information, visit
It's been a nice environment. Fans are into it, and it's nice to also see the number of youth players that are here in their jerseys being represented, dragging the parents along for dollar hot dog night. But certainly a good opportunity for some of these young players to get this experience and exposure and to learn that the MLS team in town has a way for them that they can benefit if they move up through the academy, like so many of these players have here for Red Bull 2, to be able to take that next level. It's the same thing we're seeing in Orlando City as well, where they've had the opportunity. We just talked about De Silva in the first half, the path that he followed to be able to get to the Orlando City first team, and now the benefit he's getting from match fitness, from sharpness, to be able to come on down and be able to play with Orlando City B.
I'd say I saw De Silva in the Generation Adidas Cup, which is going on right now, 2 years ago down in Texas, and a couple of Red Bulls players I saw in that tournament are available on the bench tonight.
Do some name dropping, Jonathan, come on.
I can't name drop until they get on the field. It was a stacked Orlando City team and a stacked Red Bulls team, I can tell you.
And Red Bull 2 right now without a couple of their options, like a Ben Mines, who would probably be on the bench. Certainly a very talented young player because he is off with the Generation Adidas Cup as well that's being played right now.
He and John Murphy, a couple ridiculous goals in that tournament. You can check them out via Twitter, via the MLSsoccer.com coverage of the Generation Adidas Cup.
I think it's on the YouTubes as well.
That's right where we are, you're right. Don't click away from this screen though, you can watch it later. So both Abidor and Cox stayed in. We're in the 61st minute. Lewis forced a turnover there with some pressure. Bezecourt, though, gave it back. Dequa's pass picked off by Schmoll. Najim ahead for Flemings. Great touch inside to Tenari. Now Abidor switches to the near side and Justin Bilyeu. Forward for Zico Lewis, able to turn. Red Bulls 2 moving, crossing back post, and nobody there to get on the end of it.
Red Bull 2's at their most dangerous when it's one-touch combination play, players running into space, the understanding of the movements, the channels, finding Junior Flemings there on the right-hand side. And I like that delivery from Junior Flemings, swinging it in, heading it towards the back post, seeing if there was going to be a late runner who could perhaps pick it up and make it a 3-1 game.
Sulovic got it to Tenari. Forward. Lewis looking for Flemings. He's tripped up, but Scott Thompson with a good tackle to win the ball.
Very important challenge there from Thompson. Went in cleanly, got all ball.
Gives it right back, though. Nadam's pass slowed down and won by Dequa. Now Yumeni Joule, the right back, early ball. Dequa with Cox running off of him. Uses Austin Martz, crossing, and couldn't keep it on the field of play. That's disappointing for Orlando. We told you the Orlando City bench, so we might as well give you who's left on the Red Bulls side since Christian asked for it. 4 players, all from the Red Bulls Academy, a couple of them from Montclair. Xavier Kennedy, the backup goalkeeper tonight, committed to Ohio State. He's a fun one to watch. Zach Ryan, forward, committed to Stanford. Kevin O'Toole, defender, committed to Princeton. And Kazu Shigenobu, D-mid, who's currently uncommitted because he's a high school junior.
He's been a consistent part of the U.S. youth national teams as well. A very talented player there. Someone who, again, when we talk about kind of the framework of U.S. soccer right now and the importance of the USL, could see him being a part of this USL roster, working his way up to the MLS roster.
64th minute, New York Red Bulls 2. Leading by a 2-1 count. Junior Flemings opened the scoring in the 16th minute. Albert Dequa, his second goal for Orlando City in the 34th minute from Pierre De Silva's third assist. And Vincent Bezecourt, goal number 4 on the year to lead USL just before halftime. 3rd minute of stoppage time to give New York Red Bulls 2 that advantage. Carroll kept that on the field of play, and Schmoll knocks it out for a throw into Orlando. It is an artificial surface here at the MSU Soccer Park. Abidor, the defensive midfielder, coming back to win that. Tenari and Basulovic combining. This is Basulovic passing out of trouble to find Bezecourt.
A lot of space down that left flank.
Bilyeu the overlap. No width on the far side at all. Here is Justin Bilyeu. With Tenari kind of tucked centrally, there's nobody on the Red Bulls' right-hand side, the far side for you. That'll be a New York throw-in. Tenari, neat side. Zico Lewis chipping it. Najim arriving late at the back post. Tenari trying to turn, got it to Flemings. Abidor playing it right back to him, and Earl Edwards smothers it for Orlando.
Oh, maybe a little bit too unselfish there from Abidor. Had a good opportunity, was in one-on-one, pull the trigger, see what happens.
And the drop kick returned right to Edwards. Nadam almost got that one in a dangerous spot. Bezecourt under pressure from Jules, who's on a yellow card. Advantage played. Bezecourt slipping it ahead. Here's Zico Lewis, and again, Edwards reacts first and smothers it. Jordan Schweitzer, another player, was signed to a homegrown contract by Seattle, then had his contract downgraded to USL, played last year with S2.
Got it.
And now in his second year in the pro ranks with Orlando City B. Schmoll plays that one safe. It'll be a throw-in for Jules. In front of his beanie-clad teammates over there. I didn't know it was that cold.
Well, if you're from Orlando,
if you're
from Orlando, it's getting a little bit nippy out there.
Flemings with the intercept. Red Bulls 2 on the run. And it hit the heels of Thompson fortuitously for Orlando. Comes back now for Tenari.
Good run, though, from Tenari to get out wide.
Nadja making the run behind Thompson into the penalty area, and Timbo there again.
And Timbo's been so impressive this night as he goes down for a moment. Might be cramping up, but his ability to read the game, step up numerous times, no-nonsense defender, but he's been tidy in his distribution out of the back.
And that's not his last name, folks. That's his Brazilian soccer name, his apelido. And Timbo is the town he's from. Be like saying David Clifton, the right back.
Just thankfully there's no one from Hohokus.
Somewhere there is. A little bit like naming your team FC Motown.
Well, those are fighting words for Sashi Hot, seated just a few feet below us.
I'm from Motown, I can say it. Connor Lade and I can talk. Tenari didn't get that one into a dangerous spot, and Earl Edwards will try and start it the other way. This second half, Christian, seems to have favored the Red Bulls so far.
Been a bit hectic.
But it's still just a one-goal game, and Orlando City has all three substitutions available.
All three substitutions. We saw what Dequa could do with just one or two opportunities. Michael Cox as well is such a talented player there up top, just needs an opportunity. Set pieces, Orlando's also looked very dangerous. So Red Bull here, we've seen, has struggled this year, holding on to a lead, to not concede goals, keep things compact. So far, so good in the second half, but there have been little cracks. Perhaps Orlando gets one opportunity. They have some speed on the bench, might just be enough.
Yeah, Red Bulls 2 giving up 3 goals in a game twice through their first 4 games. So they wouldn't mind some breathing room. Here is De Silva. Schweitzer running it through for Thompson. That one stayed in play. De Silva in the penalty area. And they do eventually call the handball against him. I think players on both sides had stopped before the whistle even went.
Well, I think De Silva had the handball first, and then Najum, perhaps a moment later, also with the handball. Wasn't sure which one the referee was going to call right there, but got De Silva and just the ball striking his arm in the run of play.
Fans, make sure you
Orlando playing the first of 3 straight away up in this part of the country. They're at Harrisburg on Tuesday and at Bethlehem Steel the following Sunday. I'd be surprised if they were staying up here that entire time, so that's a lot of miles early in the year. Red Bulls 2 will be at Rochester on Saturday and then home a couple weeks after that against Harrisburg as their schedule calms down somewhat. Nadam beat Dikwa to that one. And Basulovic retains possession for the Red Bulls. That'll be a throw-in for Scott Thompson and Orlando City B. First substitution coming for Orlando City. And we'll get a look at Moussa Sané, 20-year-old from Senegal and out of Montverde Academy in Florida. Played just 18 minutes this year, his second appearance.
And it looks like Orlando's going to be going to some version of the 4-3-3 with Sané being a little bit of a higher up player. Austin Martz, who's coming off the field, holding things centrally, did a lot of the dirty work, a lot of running there for Orlando City B in the 71 minutes that he was on the field.
Bezecourt this time holding his wrist after winning a free kick.
There's been a human pinball out there. Taking a couple big hits, and that's what happens when your creative player keeps the ball on the field, able to spin away, get a little distance. Sometimes you're going to get just an inadvertent whack or two.
Hassan Nadam.
And we've seen now when Nadam lines up around midfield, this will be a long ball.
Dikwa didn't feel the ball was in the right spot. Nadam starting his 4th game of the 5 Red Bulls 2 have played this year. Lewis and Bilyeu both over there. Bilyeu won it. Timbo able to react best in the penalty area. Clears it toward that Red Bulls bench where Sané, beg your pardon, Cox, can't keep it in. Fleming's under pressure. Zach Carroll won it for Orlando. There's Sané with some quick feet. And Orlando City tries to switch it. Jordan Schweitzer helps it along. Thompson early and nobody even close to it as De Silva was making a different run. Evan Loro, vet move, thinks about holding it on the end line. Fans, make sure you tune into the USL's weekly show on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85, Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern for the latest news and information from around the league. Also, don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Check uslsoccer.com for dates and times. De Silva crossed to the near post, no problem for Loro. Well, I take it back. Problem for Loro, grimacing, and goes down holding that the outside of that left knee.
And we see Xavier Kennedy there on the Red Bulls bench, getting up, getting a quick little stretch in, and potentially could be getting on the field soon. Just went to grab his gloves.
Here's a look at Loro coming for it.
Didn't look like there was any contact. Perhaps it was on the landing. He got up a little gingerly, grabbed his left knee right there.
Well,
and when you're talking about this is a good artificial turf, been out there before on it, and it is rather forgiving, but still, it's not a grass turf and it's not quite as forgiving.
I thought good artificial turf was oxymoronic. Zico Lewis making a deep run. Instead, it goes toward Flemings, who can't catch up with it.
And for the record, Seattle invented good artificial turf.
Not touching that one. 5th Red Bulls corner on this near side. And again, they've been dangerous deliveries from Bezecourt so far. Nadam stalking toward the far post as the French lefty lines it up. French lefty's taking on new meaning right now. It's election season over there.
I'm not touching that one.
Yeah. Targeting Nadam, he couldn't get to it, still loose. Najim headed it straight up, but gets another chance at it. Tried to roll it through for Tinari. Thompson able to shield it out and does win a goal kick for Orlando.
And I like what I've seen from Tinari so far with his inclusion in the match at halftime. Perhaps not bringing quite as much of a wide play as the position might request, but has been tucking in very well, clogging things up, making it difficult for Orlando City to do a lot of the build-up work that we saw the final 15, 20 minutes of the first half.
Well, that's the Red Bulls 4-2-2-2 that we've heard endlessly about, right? More compact defensively because those outside players will sit centrally.
And ironically, against Orlando last week, they ran out with more of a 4-2-3-1. Perhaps something that we will see Saturday night at Red Bull Arena against DC United, a 4-2-3-1, which, I'll say this if Jesse Marsh is listening, and he doesn't care what I have to say.
No.
So, not at all. But I think a 4-2-3-1 with Sasha Kleshtin in the middle gives him a lot more freedom to be able to play make.
Maybe this is the new MO. Get a lead with the 4-2-3-1, defend it with the 4-2-2-2 or 4-4-2, however you want to describe it. John Wallneck trying it out. Again, the Red Bulls had to make an injury sub in the first half. Michael Murillo leaving the game. And then replaced Brandon Allen at halftime, so they've already used 2 of their 3 subs. Orlando has used 1. Nice through ball from Schweitzer. This is Thompson into the 6, and the Red Bulls got to it there. Knocked it out for a corner, very similar to a goal Orlando scored against Toronto.
Yeah, very good movement off the ball there from Scott Thompson. Understanding where the channel was, held back his run, made an original run, curled it around to find a little bit of space. Thompson's been very solid for Orlando City B this second half. Couple good balls, now moving into the final third effectively.
Riley Kraft to take this instead of De Silva. Going back post and nobody there. Wasted opportunity for Orlando City. Although it's still in play, and they get the ball back via the throw. Dequa's cross runs through the penalty area, and De Silva will take what he thinks is a corner kick.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's attendance, 722.
And instead,
New York Red Bulls 2.
it's been
Thank
given
you
as a
very
goal
much for your
kick.
attendance, and we hope to see
If you're going to let it run out for a corner there, I want you to be sure it's going to be your ball.
Yeah, it was a little bit cheeky and perhaps a little presumptuous there from De Silva. Been a little quiet here in the second half. Red Bull 2, I think, doing a good job shifting. He's not being able to find spots. And with Thompson overlapping there, perhaps cutting into some of the ability for De Silva to float out and play make from that left wing, where he was so dangerous for good chunks of the first half. I think you probably make the argument maybe the best player on the field for much of the first half.
Boy, some speed right there. It's Dequa playing low, looking for Cox. Nadam got to it for New York. And Justin Bilyeu clears away. Zico Lewis, hard challenge from Carroll, who now coughs it up to Junior Flemings. Racing all alone, but Tinari and Bezecourt in support. Flemings into the penalty area, goes down, no call coming, and Earl Edwards saves it from going out of bounds.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit of a push on the back there on Junior Flemings. Perhaps went down a little bit too easy there, but Flemings we saw once in the first half, now in the second half, with the high press, being able to create a turnover, get things going.
You can hear what the assembled fans think of that one as Jordan Schweitzer threads that one to the right, and Jules. Early ball's deflected, falls in the penalty area, Kraft across, blocked by Najim. Sane will bring Scott Thompson in. Now De Silva. Low, and it's deflected off Nadam again. Came out last off of an Orlando City player. It'll be a goal kick.
But a good recovery. But a good recovery there from Hassan Nadam in a situation a few minutes ago went in a little bit recklessly. But here's Junior Fleming going at it against 3 defenders, perhaps a little bit of a trailing leg. He may have sold that one right there. I'm not sure how much contact there was, but certainly Junior Fleming's doing a good job with the high work rate in the high press, what you want to see from a forward in this 4-2-2-2.
If there was contact, Carroll got enough of the ball first that I think it's the right call. And if there was no contact, it was a serious dive.
Again, we were praising Vargas for the job he's doing.
I hope you're not jinxing him. This is Fleming's. Outnumbered and ultimately dispossessed. De Silva, you talk about cheeky. He was able to hold the ball there. Boy, Nadam caught all of Dikwa's foot there. Moran Varga waves no, 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 and we play through it. Jules for Cox, bodying off Schmoll. And David Abador, who played last year with Tulsa, called for the foul. Abador, another product of one of those big soccer programs at the high school level, Shattuck St. Mary's in the Midwest. He's from Illinois, and Shattuck St. Mary's big hockey and now soccer school in Minnesota. Carroll just lofted that one into space, and Orlando does well just to save it. Tenari will get out of trouble with Bezecourt. Great step by Jules there, but he couldn't keep it in. 82nd minute, Red Bulls 2. The decisive goal right now came in the 3rd minute of first half stoppage time off the right foot of Vincent Bezecourt, his league leading 4th goal of the year, to go with, earlier in the game, his first assist. He's well on the way to last year's numbers of 6 and 2 through the first 5 games. No foul there either, although a man's down for the Red Bulls 2. And it'll be a New York throw. And they're going to pause to check on, I believe, Andrew Tenari. There you go. Yeah, Tenari's 5'6", and Zach Carroll is 6'3", and they looked it. Okay, sorry, he's listed at 5'6".
And Zach Carroll is not 5'6".
Basulovic to Najim. Gets it back from Flemings. And Pierre De Silva doing the defensive work, slid to knock that one out. Schweitzer's clearance up into the bleachers. It'll be a New York throw-in. Again, both teams at 1-2-1, so trying to get back to the 500 mark in the USL's Eastern Conference. Thompson blasts upfield. Schmoll, chased by Cox, will go backward to Loro.
And a good win there from Schmoll. Never going to win a foot battle with Michael Cox, but using his body well to get in between himself and the goalkeeper and just be able to do the back pass. Because if not, Michael Cox had a lot of turf in front of him.
Red Bulls 2 readying their 3rd and final substitute. Down by the 4th official. Orlando still has just used the 1, and now we'll see Kevin O'Toole come on. 18-year-old from Montclair High School.
There's the applause for him.
He gets the appropriate love from the locals. You may say, oh, they're bringing in a high school senior. He started the USL Cup last year.
Looked very good at it, too.
Played 15 games between regular season and playoffs last year, so he's a mainstay, to quote John Wolonek. And again, Princeton commit for his collegiate soccer.
We'll see if he ends up there. Montclair State's always an option.
That headed back pass does find its way to Edwards.
Not a whole lot of urgency from Orlando City right now. We're in the 86th minute. Don't really see them changing anything. They're still trying to play out of the back. No real switch to being a very direct team, down a goal with just a handful of minutes left in the match.
Great work by Basulovic there under pressure to keep the ball moving. O'Toole was out wide on the left. This is Tenari. In for Flemings, tried to turn, and Timbo was there to deny him. This is Bezecourt. Switching for the open space, and O'Toole. To his left foot, got caught, and will win the free kick for the Red Bulls. I wasn't sure which way that one was going to go, but it was the first foul, which O'Toole suffered rather than committed.
Yeah, nifty little move there from O'Toole to create a little bit of separation. Sweeter than one of the churros that I did not have at halftime.
How can you compare them to ones you haven't had?
From the smiling faces of the fans taunting their churros in front of me.
The Montclair-based fans. 87th minute, they take it early, wide open. Abidor puts it out of reach. The New York Red Bulls 2 catch OCB sleeping and take control. 3-1 New York.
Yeah, exactly what you want to see on the set piece right there, and Abidor in a position to put it away. Abidor's had a couple shaky moments earlier in the match, but really settled in, quickly taken right there, and Abidor just in a position, no one around him, just to be able to slot it in. Cool, calm, and collected from the holding midfielder. And a pretty savvy little pass right there off the set piece from Bezecourt.
And who did we highlight before the game? Vincent Bezecourt. What's he done? Goal and 2 assists. And the 2 assists were passes that really were next level in seeing the run behind a packed-in defense.
That was a good pregame selection by Paul Hawkins.
The outgoing Paul Hawkins we just learned today.
Yes, he will be missed. We hope we're not breaking news on this.
Part of the great behind-the-scenes crew here at the New York Red Bulls and associated properties. 88th minute, and Red Bulls 2, only a couple of shots in this second half. Orlando hasn't had any by my count. And the Red Bulls 2 get the sneaky free kick, which again, your opponent's got to be up to it. And Orlando City shut off for a minute, and Abidor made them pay.
Sneaky like a fox.
Fernando Timbo, the man stretching out there. Again, Orlando City missing a host of first-team players who have played with them earlier this year.
And it looks like Connor Donovan might be the player coming in for Timbo, who's had an absolutely tremendous match. Really can't fault him on any of the 3 goals that Orlando conceded. I thought he read the game very well, stepped up a number of times, was no nonsense when he had to be, but a willingness to play out of the back as well. Yeah, I think it was a savvy, somewhat perhaps overshadowed, understated performance from Timbo.
I know you don't usually praise a center back when his team loses 3-1, but he really did have a strong game tonight. guess they're shivering a bit too. Cool night, temperature in the 50s, but the locals enjoying it. Both the score line and the appearance by Kevin O'Toole and his role in the potentially insurance goal.
And the second good turnout from the crowd here at MSU Soccer Park. Looks like Red Bull 2 is going to move to 2-0 in this building.
So Connor Donovan will come on, third-year generation Adidas player out of NC State. Just turned 21, but he's played one MLS game in 2 years. And for a GA signing, this is his third year. It kind of becomes make or break usually. There's Tenari, stripped by Sane.
Ladies and gentlemen,
now 3 Monteverde Academy products on the field for Orlando City B. As we're into 4 minutes of stoppage time.
And at least 2 of those, Dikwa finding his name onto the scoring sheet. Been very solid all match with a lot of activity. And Hassan Adam, I know we talked about the one foul that he had there midway through the second half. It's perhaps a little bit unnecessary, picking up a yellow card that was deserved. But thought he's been very solid as well in his reading and understanding of the game and willingness to step up into the attack when need be.
Red Bulls have made no secret of the fact they wouldn't mind having another first-team center back to shore up that position as far as depth, injury concerns.
And there might be a signing coming at some point in the next couple weeks during this transfer window. Reported a couple weeks ago that Dennis Hamlet was down in Central America during World Cup qualifying. Probably narrows it down just a little bit if they are in fact looking for a player from one of those nations.
Here's O'Toole, top of the penalty area. I think he faked himself out more than he did the defender. Dennis Hamlet, we at least know where he is tonight.
Maybe heading over to Alexis Steakhouse after the match for a post-victory burger.
Can't give away all the secrets. Manny Joule pressured by O'Toole. Riley Kraft bangs it upfield. Again, from here, the Red Bulls too will try, assuming they can hold on and get back to the 500 mark, to up their road performance at Rochester next Saturday, so a week from tomorrow.
Never an easy place to go play, and Red Bull has traditionally struggled against a team that is very direct, very tough defensively, and very much the antidote to how they want to play out of the back and the high press. Rochester is kind of built to be that team that can work and circumvent that.
And we told you Orlando will stay on the road for a couple more at Harrisburg and then at Bethlehem Steel, as that ball did run out of bounds on the far side. Into the 3rd minute now of 4 minutes of stoppage time. Schmoll and Abador both came for that one. Abador, by the way, did score for Tulsa last year. I think it was in his first game with them. His first goal with the Red Bulls too on that Bezecourt free kick. Ajim heads into the middle where Basulovic keeps it moving. Chipped through for the run of Flemings. Carroll over to meet him. And Zach Carroll got there first. Good quickness for this point in the game.
And perhaps 3-1 scoreline isn't necessarily flattering to Orlando City, who I think were a little bit unfortunate to go into halftime down 2-1, controlled large chunks of the first half.
But in the second half, they didn't create anything.
Yeah, and that comes down to also depth and quality that you have on the bench. Perhaps Red Bull 2 being one of the deeper teams in the USL, certainly last year. And I think the argument can be made that they're a little bit more top-heavy this year than last year, but overall depth is going to be more than Orlando City. But I think there's a lot of things they can take away from this. Dequa certainly looks like a very dangerous player with good movement off the ball. Michael Cox floated in and out of the game a little bit, but he can be a big part of what this team's going to be down the road. And I think defensively, we looked at Timbo, played well. I thought Scott Thompson had a very good second half in terms of his movement, pushing forward. So a lot of positives for Orlando City despite the scoreline.
The biggest positives on the night for the New York Red Bulls, too. They take the early lead, see Orlando City tie it, get the go-ahead goal just before halftime, and then use the second half to put in, Christian, an efficient performance. Not a lot of shots in that second half period, but the Red Bulls hold the lead and then at the end put it away.
Yeah, Red Bull doing what they haven't done all season with terrible effectiveness, which was hold on to a lead and when necessary be a little bit chippy, be a little bit hectic, go out there and churn out a result.
1 goal, 2 assists from Vincent Bezecourt. He's got 4 and 2 on the season. Junior Flemings and David Abador, the other goals for the Red Bulls, 2. And for OCB, it was Albert Dequa, his second goal in 5 games from a Pierre Da Silva assist, but not enough. Orlando City, not a shot in the second half. It's a New York Red Bulls 2 win, 3-1, the final tonight. More from MSU Soccer Park right after this.
Rips the shot and puts it home.
What precision, what power, really making a statement.
The header's in and the crowd goes wild.
New York Red Bulls 2. They're the 2016 USL Cup final champions.
Ready to go. Big time atmosphere here at Red Bull Arena. What a shot saved by Robles. Bradley right for it has scored! The ultimate scoring machine. And New York is on fire.
Hashtag is red. And who would argue with him?
Introducing the Bulls Series, Born Tough. Over 100 years of harnessing power. Toughness comes in your size. Our new Bull Series was born to work as hard as you do. So whether you choose our standard Bull model with 3 seats, or our Longhorn edition with 2 rows and 6 individual seats, you will have a UTV sized to fit your needs.
Rips the shot and puts it home.
What precision, what power, really making a statement.
The header's in and the crowd goes wild.
New York Red Bulls 2. They're the 2016 USL Cup final champions.
3-1, the final score tonight. New York Red Bulls 2 going to 2-2-1 on the season with a win over Orlando City B, which drops to 1-3-1. The Red Bulls players greeting their fans after the win tonight, and a lot of familiar faces and hometown hugs, you could tell, for some of the players with longtime ties to the area, and a couple of Orlando City players fall in that category as well. New York Red Bulls 2 with the win. They started it in the first half. Junior Flemings early.
Yeah, Junior Flemings very active throughout the match, but a nice little bit of poise right here to be able to create some separation. Bezecourt feeding him the ball, really nice pass, kind of dissecting the center backs over there. But Orlando City responded back very well. They had some big moments. Dequa being denied here by Evan Loro. But Orlando City building and building with confidence. Dequa eventually putting this one away. A nice feed off the left foot of Da Silva, cutting the center backs in half. Red Bull responding back in stoppage time. Bill Yu feeding right here, and Bezcourt, who had the assist on the first one, beautifully slotted there at the back post. Nothing that Earl Edwards, who did such a good job throughout most of the match, has been so solid for Orlando City this year. Nothing he could do on that one. The second half, Jonathan, I think we both agree, perhaps not quite as free-flowing as the first half was, but it was something that Red Bull had to do where they had to dig deep, they had to churn out. There were some injuries, there were some knocks, but eventually they were able to get things going and able to put away the third goal there on a set piece.
Zach Carroll with that tackle on Junior Flemings, and it was a clean tackle. Again, we thought the officials had it right, and that free kick caught everybody in purple by surprise. David Abador finishing from Bezecourt's delivery. A goal and 2 assists for the 23-year-old Frenchman, Vincent Bezecourt. He leads the USL in scoring, and he leads the Red Bulls, too, to the 3-1 win tonight.
Yeah, you think Bezecourt there is making a really big statement that he wants more inclusion, not just on the USL level. He wants to look at the MLS squad. He's
knocking on the door, John Walenek told us, and if tonight's performance is any indication, he absolutely is. The New York Red Bulls 2-3 and Orlando City B 1. The final for us tonight from the MSU Soccer Park at Montclair State University in New Jersey. That's going to do it for our show. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Goals from Junior Flemings, Vincent Bezecourt, and David Abador give the Red Bulls 2 a 3-1 win. For my partner Christian Dyer, our entire crew here at the MSU Soccer Park, I'm Jonathan Yardley. Thanks for watching. Good night from New Jersey. Red Bulls 2 with the win.
And a big thank you to Paul Hawkins.
Rebroadcast or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.